How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on The Woman in the Yard. Now this is a 2025 horror movie, and this is the latest horror flick from Blumhouse. And in this film, we see a mysterious woman who appears in the family in a family's front yard outside of the home, and she often delivers chilling warnings and unsettling messages, which leads the family to question about her identity, her motive, and the potential danger that she might pose to them. So that's pretty much the story of The Woman in the Yard. Now, as I mentioned before, this is the latest flick from Blumhouse in terms of them making horror movies, and as well as with thrillers nowadays, which they're known for making. And when it comes to them making those types of movies nowadays, in recent years, it's been pretty much on and off of Blumhouse, even though they still tend to make a few hits when it comes to them making horrors and thrillers nowadays, even though there have been a few of those types of movies that I was looking forward to, but they ultimately just let me down, and they just turned out to be like not my cups of tea or anything like that. But as for me going into this movie, I just did not know what to expect from this one in the slightest when I first saw the trailer. But after seeing this whole thing here, it's definitely another entry I can consider being on the weak side of Blumhouse horror films, because it's just one I've just found pretty forgettable here. But I will say that the filmmaking here for this film is pretty gorgeous to look at in terms of the direction here, as well as the cinematography, where it tends to be pretty much like a daylight horror film, which I like that. And the family drama the film tends to explore here does feel compelling, where it delves into the main lead's trauma, in which she found herself in an accident, and we see her in present day where she's on crutches, and she's like struggling with what she went through in the past, which I found that to be pretty compelling. And even the performances all around are pretty solid enough. Like the mother in the film, she does tend to have a solid performance, as well as with the two children, like the young daughter and the teenage son in the movie. Even though the characters themselves don't feel that much intelligent through the situation that goes on within its hour and 27-minute runtime, and there are often times where there are a few scenes that do tend to play off a bit slow, where it does tend to affect the pacing, and I kind of felt some of those scenes did tend to feel a bit boring for me as I was watching this movie. And it does tend to bring in some formulas that we've seen before from these types of horror movies, where there's like baseline dialogue, as well as with like the tension that goes on within the last 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, which is something that I've already seen before from these types of horror movies. But all in all, The Woman in the Yard, it's just another weak entry from Blumhouse. It's certainly not a bad movie. It has some things that I enjoyed a little bit here, but in all honesty, it just wasn't really my cup of tea. I'm going to give The Woman in the Yard 2.5 out of 5. Certainly nothing groundbreaking or anything like that. And again, it's not a bad movie. It's just one I found to be quite forgettable, and it's definitely one I wouldn't find myself going back to again whatsoever here. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on The Woman in the Yard, and I'd like to know what you guys think of this movie, if you've already seen this movie, or if you just recently checked this one out. And as always, this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.